Hey, what's up, guys? Dale Valor here for Modern Valor Dating. Today we're going to be talking about Instadates. You know, have you ever seen that girl in the club or at the mall or at the bar and you just want to take her and just get a date going right then and there so you don't have to try to set it up later and, deal with ghosting or flakes or anything like that? Well, I got the top 4 tips on how to do that. We're going to get into that right now. Let's go. Tip number 1, logistics. Super important. You need to know who she came with. How did she get there? Whatever venue that you're at, you need to know who she's with, her friend group, relationship status, all those types of things. I can't stress how important that is, because if you want to bounce her from whatever venue you're at to a different venue, you're going to have to make nice with her friends. They're going to have to trust you. You're going to have to know if they're going to have to give her a ride later, if she's not going to come home with you. You need to have all those things figured out. Now, the thing is that do you want to ask all those questions right up front? No, of course not. You want to work that into conversation. You work it into the conversation very subtly. Just like, bringing up like, oh, you're probably here with a lot of friends, aren't you? And she's like, oh, no, actually, it's just me and my a couple of my friends from work. Now you're starting to get a little bit of intelligence. You're starting to understand the dynamic of what's going on, all that kind of thing. Now, the other part of this is you're going to want to know the other venues that's around the venue that you're at. So if you're at a mall, for instance, you're doing day game, you're going to want to take her to like the food court, or maybe there's a restaurant inside the mall, things like that. Already have that planned out. Already know where you're going to take her so you're not grasping for straws. Try to find out how much time that she has. If she has to pick up somebody from work at 2 p.m. and it's 1:30, odds are you're not going to get an Instadate, okay? So these are all things that you're going to want to figure out and know before trying to pull her from where you're at to somewhere else. Let's get into that. Tip number 2, the friend group. See, here's the thing. We've touched on this on another video about pulling, okay? If you want to find out more about that, we'll link that video here. But the thing is that you're going to want to engage the friend group. You're going to want to make her friend group your friend group. That way, it's implied that there's safety, that they can trust you. One way to do that is, just get everybody's social media right there. I'm going to send you a friend request, or I'm going to follow you on Instagram, things like that. You can take it a step further by exchanging phone numbers with the friend group. That way, you can say to them, hey, listen, me and homegirl, we're going to go, say you're at the mall. I'll use that example again. There's a Chili's or something in the mall. You could say to the friend group, hey, me and homegirl, we're going to go to Chili's. You guys got my number. If you need to reach out to either one of us, feel free to do so. What it implies is safety. You want to make sure that everybody knows that she's going to be safe, because they don't really know you. They kind of know you now that you befriended them, but they don't really know you. So the thing is you want to make sure that everybody feels safe, everybody feels secure, which equals trust. Trust equals respect. Respect equals attraction. All right, we're going to hop into tip number 3. Tip number 3, know your town. Know what's around you. Know your surroundings. If you're going to go out and you're going to do club game, so you're trying to get an Instadate with this girl that's at the club, know what's around that club. What's popping? One way to do that is, you can look on Yelp. If you're not that familiar with your surroundings, say you're new in town, you've only lived there for a little while, or you've been a homebody your whole life, and now you're trying to get out there and learn some game and that kind of thing, know your environment. Go on Yelp, Google stuff, see what has good reviews. Go out there and try those things yourself, so that way you can vouch for it. So when you're at the club, say there's a cool sushi spot that's around the block that's still open. Say it's an all-night sushi place, and it's great. You've already been there once or twice yourself. You can say, hey, listen, you hungry? And she's like, yeah, kind of. There's an awesome sushi spot right around the corner. Been there a couple times. It's great. Really build it up. The sushi chef. I don't know if they're called chefs, but whatever. Whoever makes the sushi, they put these like candles on them and they explode or whatever. Like really build it up so that way it's more of an experience. And then you could take her there and have a great time. So yeah, know your time. We're gonna get into tip number 4. Tip number 4. What is the Instadate for? In game, I truly believe that you need to have a plan moving forward. You really need to be moving things along in the direction that you want them to go. All right, so don't just go and have an Instadate just so you can chop it up and giggle and laugh and whatever, just to talk about the weather and your dog and what you do for work. All right, use that time wisely. Use that for comfort and seduction. Okay, so if she's willing to bounce with you from one venue and invest time for who knows how long, it could be 30 minutes, it could be 3 hours. If she's going to invest that time, use that time to the maximum value. Use it as much as you can. So when you get her to that other venue, work on comfort. Tell some stories, just so she gets to know you. We have another video on comfort. You can check that one out too, and that'll break it down a little bit more. But use it for comfort and use it for seduction. Try to, if you're wanting to pull and get her back to your place, this is the time. This is the time to do that. This is the time to ramp up Kino escalation, things of that sort. That way, you're encapsulating a whole experience in one night. Okay. Now, if that's just not feasible, she's not going to go home with you. You're not going to get to her house. Reverse engineer it. Work things back. What's the next best thing that you can do? Set up time for another date or, hang out another time. I use the word date loosely. I use it so as that everybody knows what we're talking about. But really what I mean by that is, another time to spend time together. All right. So use the time to either pull or set up another time, exchange numbers, of course, follow up, all that kind of thing. But don't leave there until minimum you set up time to do another date. All right, guys, I'm Dale Valor. I'm with Modern Valor Dating. And if you like this video, you got value out of it, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you share it with someone else that also needs to hear this information. You can follow us on Instagram. We have a Facebook group. It's all under the moniker of Modern Valor Dating. We're easy to find. We just want to make sure that we're getting the best information out to you the best way possible. So that being said, we'll see you in the next video. Salute.